It's about that time of day again. My name is Joseph. It's Monday evening, June 12th. Welcome back to your nightly newsletter. We're covering crude, S&P, gold, euro, and DAX tonight. Crude is bearish with a target back at last Friday's low, and we're using channel rotation and measured moves to find the most reliable selling opportunities on Tuesday. S&P is sideways and range bound after contract rollover, and we're watching a key support trend line to use in combination with failure setups tomorrow morning. Gold is bearish with a triangle, which tells us to focus on failures up above the highs and avoid the temptation to chase anything moving lower. Euro's bearish, but price action in the chart is giving us plenty of reasons to look for seller failures and a potential rally back up to retest today's high. The DAX is bearish with a possible trading range, which tells us to look for selling opportunities up above the highs, but there's a key support level we're watching for a possible trend reversal as well. But we're back in the saddle again after a hopefully rather restful weekend for you guys and gals. I got another great newsletter for you guys tonight. We got some channels, some ranges, some measured moves, and a lot of prior high, prior low levels that are going to make our job a little bit interesting on Tuesday's session. Before I jump into this great newsletter video, though, I do want to remind you the only place to watch the full-length version of this video is on our blog at Sideways Markets. If you're watching the video right now on our YouTube channel, it's only a small snippet of the entire newsletter broadcast. Not to worry, there's a link in the description of that YouTube video. Follow that link. Dig into the description, grab that link, and come join me here on the blog for the full-length version and all 5 markets. While you're here, don't forget, join the mailing list. I'll send you an email every evening when the full-length version goes live. Follow me on social. I'm always posting important charts, links, and updates throughout the day on all my many social media channels. Below the video tonight, don't forget to grab your charts. That's right. How easy is this? All the charts in tonight's video, you can have them ready on your computer for tomorrow, right where it says click here to download today's charts. Follow that link and have them ready for Tuesday's session. Please don't forget to grab your free pass in the upper right-hand corner. You're going to learn more with me in 90 minutes on that free pass than you will anywhere else on the interwebs. I can pretty much guarantee you that. Grab that free pass if you're a member here at School of Trade. And please don't forget, if you're brand new here to SOT, we got a great frequently asked questions page. Follow that link and learn the who, what, where, when, and why. We're known as being the industry leader in professional grade trading education. Guys and gals, great to be back here after a weekend. Boy, it definitely feels like summer here in Southern California. Kids are off on holiday break. All the parents are pulling their hair out right this time of the year, counting down till the end of the summer. But of course, as we know, we're going to get a big day tomorrow here too. Now, looking at the schedule here for tomorrow. Tomorrow's Tuesday, June the 13th. Taking a look at tomorrow here, we really don't have a lot of big news here on the schedule until tomorrow night, right, from China. We get some stuff at 4:30 a.m. tomorrow morning from Great Britain, the PPI, the CPI tomorrow. We get the PPI tomorrow morning at 8:30 a.m. That's pretty much all we're going to have to trade around tomorrow in our trade room at 8 o'clock Eastern time. Remember, the best trades every day come in that sweet spot between 8 o'clock and 11:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, Monday through Friday. So, of course, we trade that sweet spot every day in our trade room. Tomorrow night, we get some news at 10 o'clock right from China. We'll talk more about that as we talk about that on tomorrow night's newsletter. But again, really all we have to worry about tomorrow is that one news event, that PPI number at 8:30 a.m. Eastern Time. I also want to bring to your attention, this Friday is the 3rd Friday. This Friday, June the 16th, is the quadruple witching week, or the quad witching on Friday. We do expect Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday to start showing some signs of a little bit more volatility in the market. Remember, quadruple witching is a lot like triple witching, right? Triple witching happens on the 3rd Friday of every 1 month. Quad witching, quadruple witching, which I'll put a link below the video tonight on our blog. Quadruple witching happens, right, 4 times a year, end of March, at the end of June, at the end of September, at the end of December, right? So the end of each quarter, the 3rd Friday of every 3 months is quadruple witching. And of course, rather than triple witching, all 4 asset classes expire on Friday. What you need to be aware of is that Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday will start getting lower volume and higher volatility. We oftentimes see a kind of a deadly combination, right, or dangerous combination of lower volume and increased volatility around that time. Again, third Friday of every 3 months. I'll put a link on that below tonight's video on our blog. So be aware of that. I'm going to be with you guys here the entire week, so not to worry. I'm not going to leave you high and dry on this. We'll keep you guys talking more about that. We'll talk more about that as we go later in the week. It should also be mentioned, too, that Wednesday the 14th is the next IEA oil market report. If you love trading crude oil as much as I do, be watching for those fireworks on Wednesday. Wednesday, sometimes into Thursday, we see continued reaction from that IEA, that monthly oil market report. Speaking of Wednesday, we also, of course, have the FOMC meeting announcement on Wednesday. We'll talk more about that in tomorrow night's newsletter. So Wednesday, definitely setting up to be a doozy, right? That's for sure. Definitely set up to be a pretty big moving session on Wednesday morning. So make sure you save your bullets for that. And of course, I would be remiss if I didn't remind you a heads up, right? I think we all have fathers out there. Most of us have dads out there. Father's Day coming right around the corner, right? I will get it out of the way now, right? And I'll remind you guys, right, out there, you got plenty of time now, right? Make sure you get that card in the mail. Make sure you get that gift for dad here, because this coming Sunday, of course, is Father's Day. So happy Father's Day to all the dads out there. We'll talk more about that, obviously, as we get closer and closer to the end of the week. So tomorrow, not a lot of news tomorrow, but save your bullets. We got a big day on Wednesday. And again, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, we start kicking up a little more dust as we go into the quadruple witching Friday. Yeah, Wednesday is going to be a head shaker, that's for sure. Let's keep going. Let's jump in. We got a bunch to cover here tonight. We got crude, S&P, gold, euro, FDAX. Let's start tonight here with crude oil. Crude is bearish with a channel and measured move this evening, which tells us to look for selling opportunities at resistance levels around the high of that channel, with a measured move and that prior day low acting as targets tomorrow. The bulls had firm control of this market to start today's session, and just recently the bulls failed to hold the low of that range. So we'll definitely keep an eye on a possible, keyword possible, seller failure on the next retracement off the possible retest high, and we'll look to see proof of that first. The most important thing, the first thing that stands out here today, is this strong move up, right, into a trading range, right? We spent most of the morning here on the U.S. looking for buying opportunities down around the low of that trading range, right? So, of course, the first thing we see is strong move up, right? Strong move up, market pulls back, retests the high, and then we see, as we've said in previous newsletters, we see one of two things, either rejection or acceptance, right? This was clearly rejection. The buyers rejected higher prices. Now, that does not mean we're going to get a reversal at that time. It just means the buyers are looking for something cheaper, right, that they can buy at a lower price. So price, of course, then pulls back. The buyers try one more time, right, to buy off that low, and they're unable to retest that high, right? That, of course, is the beginning of the end there for the bulls, right? Now, of course, one try, two try, and that second try below this trading range, right? Think of this as a trading range with a bull bias. And of course, when I break out once and then twice, one, two tries below the low of that range, this is the last straw, right? That second try, that's kind of the last hurrah for those buyers. If they're unable to hold it, yep, that's it right there. Once we see this big red candle, we know those buyers have lost their grip. And of course, now we call this a multi-directional trending day. It'll then run back down to retest that low. So the objective right now is easily back down to retest the low of day at 45.66. We do have a measured move that we're projecting here at 45.76. Just conveniently a few ticks off of that low of day. And then, of course, I would imagine those sellers, if they can run through the low of day, right, they'll be hunting for that prior day low at 45.27. Well, that's all fine and dandy. We know the bears have control. We know they're looking to sell back down to the low of day. So how do we find a way into it? Well, I'm glad you asked. Most important clue in this chart here tonight is going to be that bear channel. The bear channel, as you can see here, right, bear channel, as you can see, what we have, good rotation, beautiful rotation, almost too perfect, right? Almost too perfect in that rotation. I think the most important thing, right? I think the most important thing here tonight, of course, is just how perfect that rotation has been. We usually, once we see the market kind of picture perfect down, that's when we expect to see some traps, right? A two-legged correction back up into the battle zone, right, and back down in. We'd like to find an opportunity here right now to sell high. Now, I really want to focus your attention on this area right here, because I think that's going to really make or break what happens in the long term tomorrow. Remember, the market started off very, very bullish, and this won't be the last time, and it definitely is not the first time. This market may pull back and find a way all the way back up to retest that high. At the same time, though, the bulls do not have control of this market, so we are going to be a seller until we see proof the bulls take it back. What would that look like, by the way? Let's play the game. What if the sellers have it? What if the buyers have it right now? The bears have control right now, and I'm watching these key levels of resistance, right? The prior reversal line, they're at 17, right? The 37 overhead resistance. What I'm looking for here is price goes up above the moving average, buyer failure, and back down. Up above the moving average, prior failure, and back down. Or maybe we have a potential two-legged correction. Two-legged corrections are small trend lines below, back up, use it as resistance, right? A two-legged correction up around that high and back down. Heck, there could be a lot of different ways in which we sell high tomorrow. I'm going to use resistance at the top of that channel, resistance at the prior reversal line, resistance at that prior swing in that battle zone, right? And I want to get this price back down. Now, this is where things could get ugly here for the bears. For example, one of the scenarios we're looking for here to be a seller will be buyer failure, right? Buyers get back above the moving average, they can't hold the pullback, and price collapses back down, right? That'd be an example of a buyer failure in a bear market. Well, what if the buyers hold that pullback? Exactly right. Now this market becomes, right, a bull market. So we're watching to see here if these buyers, strong move up, hold a pullback. If they do hold that pullback, now think about where you are. We're right just a few points below that high of day. What don't I want to do as a buyer? I don't want to buy high. So how do I avoid buying high? Traps, 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 right? If you watch my newsletter every evening, you know whenever I find myself in a position where I have no choice but to buy high, right? The last thing I want to do is be a buyer up at those highs, two-legged pullback, trap low, right? Look for traps, look for traps, look for traps. And that goes for anything back up, right, to retest that high. So as the market goes back up, trap low, two-legged pullback, right? There's oftentimes a trend line mixed in there as well. We'll be watching that stuff tomorrow morning with all of our advanced members. Now, what if price rolls over? What if we never pull back? What if it rolls over here? Well, I don't want to sell low. So if I don't want to sell low, how would I avoid selling low? Trap high. The exact opposite, right? If price goes up and we find ourselves crushing higher here, I don't want to buy high, right? I want to buy low, right? Trap low. Well, what if price just rolls over? Trap high, right? Trap high. Don't sell low. Look for those little two-legged corrections, right? And sell high. Obviously here that measured move's a target, right? But the ultimate target here is to get back down to that retest of that low. So watch out for that measured move. And then again, if we do get through it, right? Again, don't sell low. Right, trap high from there. We'll be looking for a new channel, a new set of measured moves tomorrow if we do push through that low of day at 66. So bears trying to sell high right now. Don't be selling low, right? Look for traps whenever you find yourself in a position where you got to sell high, right? Or sell low or buy high. And that's about it. Inventories on Wednesday. Oil market report, right, on Wednesday. Fed day on Wednesday. Can we jam anything else into that Wednesday session? Right, we'll keep you guys posted on that as we get closer and closer towards the middle and end of this week. Let's keep going here. How about some S&P? S&P is range bound and balanced this evening, which tells us to buy the low, avoid the middle, sell the high, and focus on failures while using the 2-try rule tomorrow until we can see a successful breakout pullback. Now, one thing to keep an eye on tomorrow is this rising support trend line. We want to sell off the highs with a target back down at that low, but we don't want to sell into that rising support. So keep that in mind as we look for selling opportunities in tomorrow's session. Now, we have completed rollover, right? So this might be kind of a byproduct of rollover here today. If you recall, last week we were kind of wondering when we're going to get that rollover to the 917 contract. We do have rollover on the S&P to the 917. So if your chart looks a little bit funny here this week, right, that's because you're on the 617. So make sure you roll over to 917. Now, I don't want to get ahead of myself, but I hope that this is the entire summer season here, because the last couple days, last week or so, we've seen a lot of trading ranges on the S&P. I do want to remind you, if you want to learn more about everything we've talked about tonight, if you want to learn more about our trading strategies we use here in our trade room and on our newsletter, please don't forget you can learn more about our trading strategies inside of our free trial at schooloftrade.com. If you're watching the video right now on our YouTube channel, not to worry, there's a link in the description of that YouTube video. Follow that link and join me here on the website. Grab your free trial and learn more about how we trade here at SOT. While you're here, don't forget, make sure you check out our 3 levels of membership: beginner, intermediate, and advanced course. Right, our most popular course is the advanced. That does come with the beginner and the intermediate. Right, but you can always go at it a la carte as well. I'm always here standing by. If you have any questions, got live support on the right-hand side of the website. Don't forget to keep in touch. You can email me. My email address is jj@schooloftrade. You can use live support, or you can always pick up the phone and call toll-free 800-381-2084. I look forward to speaking with you guys. I will answer the phone. I realize that most websites are all automated these days. I'm old school. I actually do believe in talking to my clients and spending time with my clients, because that's what's going to make you guys successful. Guys and gals, tomorrow we open up tomorrow morning at 8 o'clock Eastern time in our trade room with all of our advanced members. If I don't see you there tomorrow, don't forget to come back and join me once again tomorrow night for our nightly newsletter before 8 p.m. Eastern time. That'll do it for me. Be well out there. Be nice to each other, will ya? And be here tomorrow. Adios, amigos. Bye-bye for now.